Hi, this is Blake Bentner with Worn and Wound. Today we are talking about the Zenith Defy Skyline Skeleton. It's a bit of a mouthful, but it is a new Skyline with an open dial from Zenith. Now, of course, we saw the first Skyline release last year that put a high-frequency El Primero movement in a time-only watch. And this still had the 1/10 of a second timer as the running seconds hand, a feature that this Skyline Skeleton retains. However, it moves that running seconds hand, still making a full lap every 10 seconds down to the 9 o'clock position, which provides a nice bit of symmetry to the dial overall. Now, of course, the open work dial is nothing new for Zenith. You recall the Zenith Defy Classic of the prior generation also had an open-worked dial, had a slightly different design to the bridges that comprise the dial, though. This reworks that a little bit into the 4-pointed star here, so it's a little bit easier to read than some of those older open-work dials, and it's just in general a very different personality from those older ones. And of course, this is a new watch. This is meant to be replacing the Defy Classic, but it's not that straightforward. The Defy Classic had a much trimmer case. This opens up an entirely new category for Zenith in the Defy range. Now, at a glance, this watch looks almost intimidating. There's a big personality here. There's a lot going on. There's a lot of harsh angles, a lot of different finishes going on, from polish to brush, and there's no rounded edges really anywhere in sight. So the transition between those can be a little harsh. It all plays into the very, I wouldn't say aggressive personality, but it's a big personality for sure. That said, it's an overall really pleasant watch on the wrist. They list this as a 41mm watch. However, on my calibers at least, the diameter of this 12-sided dodecahedron bezel at its widest point is 39mm, so visually it is kind of framed into that kind of a space. It's just under 12mm in thickness, and the lug-to-lug is 46mm. And that measurement is taken from the tip here of the angled portion of the case. Visually, it's almost like a square 40mm watch on the wrist. Still a lot of personality, obviously, but on the wrist, this is one that wears much easier than the numbers might suggest. It's very comfortable overall on the wrist. And because of the reworked design on the dial, quite legible as well. Let's talk about that dial a little bit. So it opens up into a view of the opened up base plate here, particularly over in the 10 and 11 o'clock section where we can see the escapement working away below with the balance wheel, and then just underneath that, an escape wheel that is rendered in silicon, so it gets this beautiful pop of kind of blue to purple, this kind of iridescent quality that really stands out from behind there in the right light. It adds just enough color to the rest of the dial, and this black configuration to be welcome. This also comes in a blue configuration, and as we saw just this year at Watches and Wonders, a full black ceramic edition, which was quite lovely as well. Now, one of the other features that I really enjoy about this watch is the quick release system of the bracelet. It's one of the easiest that we've come across. It really just kind of utilizes these two forked prongs that you insert into the cavities, and you're good to go. This comes available with this rubber strap as well, which fits in just as easily. Hopefully we'll see some more colors on these. I would love to buy a whole bunch of these things to play with, especially with the black dial. I think it would go well with any number of strap configurations. This also has an open case back, which is almost less exciting than the dial side, but it's there. So this watch is priced at $11,000. No small sum, but there's certainly a lot to enjoy here, from the high beat movement, which is Zenith's own, of course. That's the El Primero 3620, to the integrated bracelet design, which again is no easy feat, the quick release system here, and just the fact that they've uncoupled this high beat movement from the chronograph work that we're used to seeing in the El Primero. Now, I would say this is a lot of watch for $11,000, though that's certainly no small sum. Not a ton of other options in this price range when it comes to steel integrated sports watches with in-house movement. Another one is, of course, the newly introduced Ingenieur Automatic 40, a watch that I currently have on my wrist. We will have a lot more on this watch and a full review coming at a later point. But for now, this Zenith has its own personality, and it is a strong one. What are your thoughts on this watch? Let us know down in the comments below, and we will address them in the review. If you enjoyed this content, please be sure to leave a like, share, and subscribe. And until next time, take care.